Hey, good morning. Happy Monday. This is Brother Tywan coming to you with our Monday motivation. Just want to come to you from Genesis 9, verse 20, and it's talking about Noah and his family after they have gotten off the ark. The waters have receded, and they are responsible for repopulating the earth. And so I want to start with verse 20, where it talks about Noah, as a man of the soil, began by planting a vineyard. And so I want to stop right there because I think it obviously paints a picture of, or gives good context for the rest of the chapter. But I couldn't help but just imagining a little bit more, where it says Noah, as a man of the soil, began by planting a vineyard. So that was the first thing that he did. And so I was just like, why did he do that? Why was that the first thing? Of all things, he began by planting a vineyard. See, I think Noah had decided in his heart a while ago on the ark, when the earth was probably still flooded. I've been on this ark for a long time. I just saw the world get swept away. I've been on this ark with a bunch of animals. I've been on this ark with my family. We've been cooped up. I'm going to have me a drink. I believe he decided that a while ago, because a vineyard just doesn't grow overnight. You got to put some work in for that. And so, just to give you a little context, because then in verse 21 it says he drank some of the wine, became drunk, and uncovered himself inside his tent. So he drank so much and got naked. Man, you got to love the word of God. And so it says in verse 22, Ham, the father of Canaan, saw his father naked and told his two brothers outside. And so that verse is interesting, because it doesn't give a lot of detail, but there's suspicions that Ham did something dishonorable to his father, because later on, it says when Noah awoke from his drunkenness or from his sleep, he heard about what his son had done, and he cursed him pretty much. So that issue happens, but I want to focus on 23. Verse 23 says, Then Shem and Japheth, the older brothers, took a cloak and placed it over both their shoulders, and walking backward, they covered their father's nakedness. Their faces were turned away, and they did not see their father naked. And so later on in the chapter, Noah ends up blessing them for that. But I think that's a good visual, and I believe that's a good visual of something that I felt in 2020. See, a lot of times, similar to the brothers, I felt like I was going backwards physically. But God showed me, as I felt like I was moving backwards physically, that spiritually I was moving forward. See, the two brothers worked together, and it's funny because they work together to go backwards. And most of the time when you're working with somebody, you're trying to go forward. But these two went backwards to honor their father, to cover their father, to protect their father. And ultimately they end up blessing their father, and their father blesses them, and God is pleased by that. But as they go backwards to do that, it showed a lot of their character, and so they were blessed by that. And so spiritually they were moving forward. It showed a lot about where they were in their hearts with God. And so I say again, I felt like I was going backwards a lot of times, my finances and my career. And it's not just COVID, but just in life. There's been some times where I felt like I was going backwards. But God has shown me throughout this process, I've been going forward spiritually. And that's truly what it's really all about. See, my pastor says it all the time. It can't be a good year unless it's a good year spiritually. And a lot of people want to, and 2020 is over. A lot of people want to count 2020 as the worst year, and say it was a bust and nothing good came out of that. But I disagree. There was a lot of good that came out of 2020 in spite of. And so I challenge you just to pray and ask God and seek God and say, God, how did I move forward in 2020 in spite of the setbacks? How did I move forward spiritually in 2020 in spite of the issues that you may have faced? Even when I was going backwards physically, God, show me how I was moving forward spiritually. And so I want to leave that with you. I want to leave it with you as that. I don't want to go on too much further. So I pray that your Monday has been going extremely well. And if not, I pray that this was encouraging to you. And I pray that God be with you throughout the rest of your day and also throughout the rest of your week.